A Samsung dryer here, and the issue with this, not heating, turns on, runs, but it's not heating. Now, pretty much most of these Samsungs, they're gonna have either something associated with the element. Their board is pretty hardy, okay? Sometimes the relays get stuck, you tap them, and they're good to go again. Sometimes you do have to change the boards, but more or less, the dryers are not bad. Their washers, different story. So I want you to take a listen. It's kind of hard to, I'm not sure how you're gonna hear it well on the video, but I'm gonna turn on, and then I'm gonna press start, and you're gonna hear a click. That's the relay turning on. So hopefully you could hear it. I'll do it a couple times. Listen. Did you hear that click? That's it, right there. One more time. That's it. Before you do any work, always unplug the unit. So, pretty straightforward dryers to remove. You obviously have a tab and a tab. Then you have this screw, this one, bottom. And just remember, put these in a bag. These are special screws for the front only, okay? All right, guys, you always want to check. Make sure you have proper voltage before you do anything else. Don't even open the dryer until you verify power. All right. All right, you see no voltage? Now we're gonna turn it on. So power comes in on the black, goes down here, goes to the element. Okay, 120 volts there. See that? Relay clicked on. So relay is good. So relay is good. So we're gonna go down and take a look at the element. That one is your motor. So if your motor's not coming on, it would be the one on the left. All right, Let's take a dig in. See that piece fell from up there? So if that does happen to you, it slides back up in there. Okay, and screws right back. The screw holds it in. So, but you do need it because you do need to remove the screw. You can leave that in there. All right, so tab and tab, and you get a putty knife. One, two, three. All right, as you can see now, we have the front piece off. This dryer has a lot of lint. All right, so we're gonna take this front piece off, the bulkhead. Be careful of your door lights. You don't want to damage that. So, all right, you're gonna lift. See those little openings? You're gonna lift up, lift, okay? And as you lift, you want to rotate the drum. It comes off a lot easier instead of trying to just yank it off. So you're gonna lift, rotate. See that? While you're there, check your rollers. You look good. Alright, so we're in here. You want to check for coins. I heard coins earlier. Yeah, look at that. I'm going to vacuum all this out. You know, this key, I got to give that back to the customer. All this needs to be vacuumed out before you put your machine back together. Alright guys, so we're going to be checking this guy. Okay, if he's bad, he can stop you from heating. Remember that black wire we checked? Okay, up on the board, the black and the blue, these are the same wires. Okay, they actually come all the way up, see it? And they go up to the board. Meeting here, 240 volts. Okay, now you can put your test leads here, and check to see if you're getting voltage. And when you do that, you're now checking that everything is working. So why do that? Well, you do that so you eliminate any false parts changing monkey. It's not about just replacing parts. Yes, you can just check the element. If the element is bad, you're pretty much good to go. Sometimes it could be not just the element, it could be something else. So what we're going to do now, we're going to connect our leads. We're going to connect them there. And if we're getting 240 volts, we know this is good. And we know the board is good. We know the motor is good. And the problem is the element. I'm not going to check the element yet. Alright, so before you can do anything, you need to activate the belt switch. Okay, you can use the belt and pull it if you want, but if you can save your hand, basically put something under it. Okay, so now the belt switch is activated. Get your meter leads connected, alligator clips. And in case somebody asks, yes, those can't be insulated. Alligator clips are not designed to be insulated on the inside. Otherwise, they would be useless, okay? Someone asked. Also, you will need to take your door switch out. Okay, I have plenty. And you're going to be activating the door switch. You can tape it if you like, so that the door is closed. So what we're going to do now, I'm going to turn it on, and we're going to check for power. Right there, we should get 240 volts, and that's going to check the board, the motor, and yeah, the board, motor, and power going into the element. And put it on time dry, guys. 30 minutes. Okay. Pressing. Okay, door is closed. And we're going to press start. Good Lord. Well, that scared me good. Coin or something got caught in the blower wheel. So the coin's out. I didn't see any power here, but maybe the relay didn't click on. Alright, so let's... Alright, that was just scary. Alright, let's continue. There we go. That's our voltage, 240 volts. All right, and that's pretty much how you would do that. So now we know 140% that the element is bad, okay? You don't have to do any more tests. The element is bad. It's not heating because it's broken, okay? Now we can unplug. Now if you want to now test the element, okay, some continuity, nothing. Guys, don't force anything. If it's not coming off, it's not coming off. Just take your time. All right, guys, a couple of things. This had some burnt plastic on it, and I didn't show it. What I used on it was a wire brush, and it was so baked on, I had to use my torch and pretty much softened it to where you could scrape it off. And I just figured wanted to include that. If you're going to do that though, make sure you have pretty much the machine taken apart, just in case, because when that plastic is melted, it might drip. And if there's anything down there, you want to be able to get to it, okay? It's not really going to cause a fire, but you still don't want to have it in an enclosed, in the dryer, with the drum in there. If something falls and does start a fire, you wouldn't be able to do anything. So if you do have a baked on situation, you could also use a wire brush on the drill and spin it. That will do it. But this was pretty bad and came out pretty good. All that was pretty much covered. So still had a tiny bit left right there, but the brush did a pretty good job. And pretty much this is what I did. Some more dust behind it, so we're going to blow that out with vacuum it out and blow it out. All right, so now we're going to be vacuuming this unit. Whenever you open your dryer, you want to make sure you give it a good clean. Pay special attention to the motor. You want to blow that out after you suck it. Then you want to get in your blower wheel here. Make sure you get everything out. Make sure there's no coins. If coins get in there, they could actually bind your machine up and stop it from working. All right, so now we're done with the vacuuming. I'm gonna do a quick blow. Now a blow basically forces air, and you'll see the stuff that you couldn't get while vacuuming. All right, guys, so this is a replacement element. I had this one, still good. In fact, it was a restrung. So this coil itself is fairly new. This housing had some wear, but this element is still very, very new. I think it was used not very long at all. So sometimes you can restring. In fact, I have a video on restringing these, so you can actually, instead of actually replacing the entire housing, you can just replace this. You gotta take your time and make sure they're in nicely into the keeper, and you know, a lot cheaper, providing this is good. If this is broken, then you need to replace the entire piece. Or if you're not sure, you can buy the entire housing. Comes with a thermostat. All those options are available. Things to note, make sure when you're putting this on, none of these come in contact with the housing. That porcelain is your insulator, so power goes in, it's a resistance, so it heats up the wires. So if this wire, which is carrying electricity, touches this, it could short out. That's not a good thing. All right, so I'm gonna put the cover back on, and I wanna kind of give you a little pointer. What I use, I like to get these first on this side. It's a lot easier, and two ways to do it. You can go from underneath with something small. And you're gonna go into these holes, right? Okay, there it is. And as you do that, make sure everybody here is lining up. And you want to make sure that the hole that you now have is going to slide right on that. And when that happens, all you have to do now is put a screw in. There it is. So the hole now is ready for a screw, okay? So leave that there, get a screw in that side, and then that one is already lined up. And over here is a piece of cake. Then, after you get the two screws over there, you can snug this down on here, do a slight bend, and then put your other screws in. Now, you can always know where your screws go. They will have a little mark on the top, or scratches. Also, if you go in the wrong holes, they're not gonna line up. Well, they're not gonna bite. So it'll just be very loose, and nothing is gonna be snugged. So the other holes are just for alignment only, so you don't need to put screws in all of them. Okay, you got one over there. All right, you're done over there. So now you want to come on this, and you get a pliers or a needle nose, and squeeze those, bring it down to it, just like that. Okay, and you might need to hold it with your finger. And you can do this two ways. You can twist it. That's it. You don't need both of them. Just a slight twist. Or you can fold it. I do both. Sometimes folding is more couth, but these you can straighten them easier when you have it like that. Now you have screw, screw, and a screw. Now, to line these up now, okay, the element is actually on the right. It's pushed to the right. Don't forget these. That one felt a little loose, but he's in. All right, guys, so we're ready to put the belt and the drum back in. I don't think we need this anymore, but I might do one final test with it open so you can see that the element is good and everything's working. So here's one more test you can do. Now, this is checking for grounding and continuity. Okay. Meter says elements are good. Okay. And I'm going to check to see if it's grounded. It shouldn't. All right. That's a good sound. You don't want to hear a sound when you're checking for element that is grounded. And while we're here, you could actually check the rest of these, but we don't need to. When we check the 240 volts, that tells us that everybody was working. So this is just, for fun. Okay. And if you check one side, you actually check both. The blue wire, okay, where it goes, this blue wire goes here, and it completes a circuit, comes back through the black, goes through this, okay, and goes all the way up. So it's a circle. So we're good there. So we're going to do one last test. We're still getting good volts, and you'll see the element turn red. Volts AC. Make sure nothing is touching the metal. Activate the switch. It's by the blower wheel. That's very rapid moving. All right, so I think we're good. We're gonna power up. I'm gonna turn the light off. I want you to be able to see the element glowing. All right, getting ready to start. you know she's good. Now we're gonna put her back together. Alright guys, so we're pretty much done with this dryer, and want to make sure that you guys don't forget this piece. This is your housing, okay? And very crucial, it catches a lot of junk. This is what the screen goes into. So gotta make sure it's clean. If it's not clean, then nothing's gonna be clean. So we're gonna dump all this out here. Make sure your wires are out of the way. You don't want to get them under the drum. All right, sometimes you gotta rotate, and Samsung goes counterclockwise. This is the best way to get it. Otherwise you can dismantle take your belt off the pulley, and you want to rotate really slow just in case your belt is twisted. So you can hear the noise. I think this unit goes clockwise. Most Samsungs are counterclockwise. We'll find out in a minute. I'm going to crank it back up, because it seems the belt is in harmony going this way. When you go this way, it didn't seem to want to go. Listen, hear that? The belt was binding. So this way, clockwise. Yeah. Okay. We'll verify it though once we crank it back. Oh, look at this. Wow. Dime. Put it with the rest of the money. Wow. So this thing still has some stuff in there. Look at that. Wow. I'm going to loosen these two screws. Remember, 2 long ones on the outside, short one on the inside. so this thing kind of pulls up, and you can see it's pretty, got some still junk still in there. Not too bad. I was more curious about down in here. Okay, so just not bad, but still, let's get it out. All right, long screws, short screw. In the plastic. These are for your other screws. All right, guys, make sure you plug as you go along, because you could easily forget as you get busy. Check your connections, make sure they're plugged in. Get in the habit of touching it once. Once you're there, plug it in, and you move along. What's next? This guy here. And the screws, right there. One goes in plastic. The longer one with the larger thread are usually for the plastic, which is right there. And the other ones are pretty much metal. Don't over tighten, it's just going into plastic. All right, so it's time for your door switch. Beautiful, we're in, okay. And you can pull up a little bit, okay. All right, guys, check your wires. Make sure they're in the keeper and nothing's rubbing on the drum. Time to close her down, but before you do, get this screw in. I've seen sometimes where they will fall, so get that screw in, get everything secured. If you guys did good, you will have these 3 screws. Last ones to go in, first ones to come out. good, guys. Nice and hot. Thanks for watching.